Hi there, Dave DeBow here, publisher of Canadian Profits, here with another episode of Canadian Profits TV. In this week's episode, for our business breakthroughs, we're going to be talking about holding effective meetings. For our real estate tip, we're going to talk about the myth of there being no good deals out there. That's definitely a big myth. And for our Mindset Minute, we're going to be looking at the power of persistence. Now, this week's episode is brought to you by the webinar I'm going to be holding on May the 3rd with my good friend Paul Blackier, all about using other people's money to invest in real estate investing, especially other people's RRSP funds. So you can check that out at CanadianProfitsWebinar.com or click on the banner to the right. All right, so for our business breakthrough, we're talking about everybody's favorite subject, meetings. Who loves meetings? Yeah! No, most of us don't love meetings very much. However, we are cluing in to more effective ways of doing meetings. So now here at Canadian Profits, what we do is every morning we have a little group huddle where we go over what everybody's going to be looking at, what everybody's going to be focusing on for the day, just to get together about 5 to 7 minutes, very, very short, intense, and getting everybody off doing their thing, making sure everybody's working on the right priorities. That's been a big, big help for us. And then the other thing that we're doing is having weekly meetings on specific topics. So every week we have a specific meeting on, for example, income creation, income generation. And the whole focus of that meeting is just on that one topic. So that helps us keep very, very focused. Part of the challenge I see with most people's meetings is they start on one thing, they talk about another thing, they're all over the place. They're very, very scattered. So it's hard to get anything done with those meetings. So the more focused you make them, the more effective they're going to be. Now, the best thing I've read about how to create effective meetings or how to hold effective meetings is Chet Holmes' book, The Ultimate Sales Machine, one of the best business books I've read in the last 5 years. Highly recommend it to you. That was a free gift we sent out to our Diamond and Peak Performer members a few months ago, so hopefully you guys have already read that. Again, Chet Holmes, The Ultimate Sales Machine. That's your business breakthrough for this week. All right, for this week's real estate tips, I want to talk about a big myth that's out there that there are no really good deals available. I hear that sometimes. Like somebody will come to me and say, Dave, I don't see any good deals out there. I mean, I look on the MLS, I'm talking with realtors, everybody wants full price for their house. There's no smoking deals. I hear about all these, below market prices and all this kind of stuff. I never see it. Well, that's definitely a big myth. There are deals out there. There are lots of good deals out there. You just need to know A, where to look, and B, how to look for them. So if you are just looking through the MLS, what are you going to see? You're going to see everything else that everybody else sees. You're going to see all of the houses that are listed with real estate agents. What are real estate agents going to be doing? They're going to be trying to get the top price, obviously, for the house to serve their clients best. That's what their job is. It's very, very hard to find smoking deals on the MLS. Also, if a deal does come up, how many other people are looking for that deal? Tons and tons of other people. There's lots of competition. So if you want to find the really good deals and the really motivated sellers, you need to start looking for the FSBOs, for sale by owner properties. That's where you need to go. Talk with those people. Chances are you'll find some motivated people in there. The other thing you have to realize is most people are not that motivated. Most people are not desperate to sell their house. So you probably have to go through 90, 95 potential properties before you find one or two that'll actually work out for you, where the people are motivated enough that you can do a good deal. It's part of the game. If it were super easy, everybody would be doing it, right? But just to give you an example, there are people out there that are motivated. I recently did, here in Kamloops, where we have a population of about 85,000 people, with my real estate business, BC Rent to Buy, we put a promo out there to for sale by owner property owners, and we had over 50 responses, 50, I think it was 53 responses in less than a week from prospective home sellers. Now, were all of those going to turn into a deal? No, obviously not. But some of them were very, very motivated people who are willing to look at creative things. So there are deals out there. You just need to know where to look and how to look for them. For this week's Mindset Minute, I want to talk a little bit about persistence. And my good friend Laurie Rowdenask has written a book on it, The Power of Persistence. So definitely, or Persistence Pays, I'm sorry, Laurie. Persistence Pays. Highly recommend that book to you if you haven't read it. But persistence is something that I see so many of us lack, myself included sometimes. We give up way too soon. We're getting close to something, the work's getting tough, it's getting more difficult, and we give up right before we get to the top of the hill. It's a big problem that a lot of people have. So what do you need to know? You need to know that sometimes things take longer than you expect to get up and running. It's kind of a delicate balancing act between knowing when to keep going and when to cut your losses. However, I think most of us cut our losses way too soon. So if you're starting something new, you have to realize that you're going to have challenges, you're going to have problems, you're going to make mistakes. That's all part of the process. You have to keep persisting. You have to be persistent because there's no success without persistence. If it were super easy, everybody would be successful. It's really the persistent people that are the most successful. That's your Mindset Minute for this week. All right, this week I want to answer one of the questions that have come in from Canadian Profits TV viewer, and this week it's from Sammy Balkama. Thanks for your question, Sammy. Sammy says, "Hi Dave and team, thanks for all your education and guidance in the business of investing, mindset, etc. It's great." You're very welcome, Sammy. Thanks for watching. As you invited us to ask a question, here's mine. With the Canadian home inspection industry not living up to proper standards or owning any mistakes that they possibly make, how can we find a reliable home inspector? Okay, that's a very good question. And Sammy, I think I know what you're referring to. You probably watched the TV show on Marketplace where they busted several home inspectors. They had them go look at a house that had been a grow-op, or they looked at a house that had black mold in it, and only 1 out of 5 home inspectors actually found it. So it was actually absolutely pitiful. It was homes on homes. It was one of those shows. Yeah, it's a challenge. Home inspectors really, if you look at all of the stuff that they got in a contract, they pretty much take away all their responsibility. They say, yeah, I'll take your money, I'll inspect the home, but if I miss something, too bad, right? So how do you find a good inspector when there's so many crappy ones out there? Well, depending on the province that you're in, some provinces actually have a stipulation where the home inspectors have to be certified. So that helps weed out a lot of them. So make sure they're certified if they're in the province that you're at. Other provinces, not so lucky. But the most important thing is word of mouth. It's to find out from other investors, who good home inspectors are, right? So you ask, you go out, you attend real estate investment networking meetings, and you find out from other active investors who the really good inspectors are, okay? Also, you look for experience, look for references, all that kind of good stuff. Do your due diligence. That's the best you can do. Once you find one that's really good, then you hold on to that inspector, and you don't diddle and piddle around with the price. Don't try and get a good discount because you're going to be doing multiple inspections. Pay them full price. Be happy to do it because a good home inspector is worth their price in gold. Also, explaining your expectations to the home inspector up front, that you're an investor, you really want them to go through with a fine-tooth comb and uncover everything that could be possibly wrong with the home. That gives them permission to do that as well. So do that. And the subject to clause that we mentioned a week or two ago, subject to inspections, put the S in there, and that way, if something does come up, if the home inspector does find that there's a problem with the furnace, for example, you can go in and get a furnace specialist to go in and specifically check that component of the home. So there's some advice for you, and thanks very much for your question. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer on Canadian Profits TV, please email them to my good man, Derek. His email address is marketing@canadianprofits.ca. Also, we love your comments, so please scroll down and let us know what you thought of this week's show. Thanks again for watching this week's episode of Canadian Profits TV. Stay tuned for next week for our business breakthrough. We're going to be talking about tracking who's doing what. For our real estate tips, we're going to be talking about a profit center, which is mortgage pay down. That's a big one that a lot of people don't pay attention to. And for our Mindset Minute, we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things, which is failing forward fast. Nobody likes to fail, but the faster you fail forward, the faster you'll succeed. We'll talk about that next week. Talk to you soon.
Hi, this is Darth Vader. Have you ever heard about the Canadian Profits membership program yet? If you are a member, you should be. It's the best place for the Canadian information, education, an inspiration for business owners and real estate investors. I used to be one with the light side, but I missed my opportunity and now belong to the dark side. Don't be like me. I missed the amazing opportunity. Go ahead and take a test drive of the program and get a free book by clicking on one of the banners to the right on the video. And don't forget that the force will be with you always.